What's up? What's up? What's up? Today we are talking about how to remove late payments. This is how to remove late payments from, student loans. We have two different scenarios. We have using regular accounts and removing late payments, and then we have student loans on this side. So we're actually going to talk about student loan late payment removal first, okay? Well, handling late payments for your student loans is going to be different than handling your late payments on like American Express, Capital One, or whatever. And so that is why we have it split up into two totally different sections. Let's get to it. Now, before we do that, if you personally would like to see if I personally can fix your credit because you don't know how to remove your collections and charge-offs and repos and all of that, use that link that you see right there on your screen and I'll see if I can help. But for right now, we are actually going to start with student loans. We're starting with student loans, and that's going to be on that side. So if you can see this, hopefully you can, it says student loans, and then we're using Nelnet as an example, okay? So when you see Nelnet and Sally Mae and, all of those, right? It's going to be like, okay, 90 days late. Well, let me ask you a question. This is what you're going to do. You're going to pull up your credit report and you're going to go and look at the payment history specifically. So if it looks like this, where it's all green and then says 90 days late, this is what you are going to do. You are going to dispute that 90-day late payment and you're going to very simply say, I cannot have been 90 days late on this date because there is no 30 or 60-day late payment. Now, here's my question to you. Why do you personally think that they report like this? The answer to that is very, very simple. They report like this because they actually don't list you as being late until you are 3 months late. Kind of like they're doing you a solid, right? Obviously, they're not doing you a solid. However, the thing that you need to know is that payment history actually has to report accurately. So what is not accurate is stating that you were on time when you weren't, and then you were on time when you weren't, and then you were 90 days late without any 30 or 60-day late payment. So your dispute reason would actually be very, 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 very simple. And yes, we are going to get to this part on regular late payments on accounts like credit cards and stuff like that. Okay, so chill and be here till the end so you can learn how to remove your late payments, right? Your dispute reason would be remove. It depends on if you are deleting or updating the account. I'm going to give you two different scenarios. So let's say that you are deleting the account. We'll start with that. You can say delete this account for inaccuracy because this late payment on whatever date that is that says 90 days reports inaccurately because there's no 30 or 60-day prior late payments, okay? So again, delete this account for inaccuracy because there are no 30 or 60-day late payments prior to this 90-day late payment, and this is inaccurate and it has to be removed. You don't have to say that last part, but I'm just letting you know. So 90 days without 30 or 60. That is how you remove an account that has these late payments on there for student loans. And this will not work for U.S. Department of Education, but it'll work because they report as a collection or sometimes as a charge-off, right? This is going to work for Nelnet, Sally Mae, and all the other ones, like Navient, specifically with Navient. Now, with Navient, in case you didn't know, they were sued a couple of years ago for misreporting payments for millions of consumers. So that is also something that you can reference in your letter. Like, hey, I'm one of those millions of consumers that were affected by Navient reporting my payments incorrectly, right? Now, to update that same account for correcting these late payments like magic, not deleting the whole account, but let's just say that you only have this 90-day late payment, or you have a 90-day late payment, you were on time, and then you were late again. How do you handle that? Well, instead of saying delete, we are actually going to say, I'm going to move my mic again. So we're actually going to say correct. Okay. So correct this account or remove these late payments from this account for inaccuracy because there's no 30 or 60-day late payment prior to this 90-day late payment. Okay. It's really, really, really simple and it works. And we are still using the Agero formula, right? Action, justifier, element, reason, outcome. Again, this is something that I use for every single client on every single letter that I write right then when I am actually processing their file. Okay. And this is why it works. We are just simply plugging in the facts taken directly from the credit report. And you are going to use this same with removing late payments on regular accounts and removing those late payments on your student loans. Okay. So now, what about regular accounts? Let's say for whatever reason you were late on American Express. Now you have this 30-day late payment. What do you do? Well, you're going to go and check out again the payment history. I'm going to give you a couple different things that you can look for to A, remove the account, or B, update the account so that these late payments are not on there anymore. So it's literally going to report that you paid on time when maybe you didn't pay on time. You have to remember that everything has to be accurate. So we're going for accurate reporting, right? So we're not going to say, hey, this late payment on this date is unverified. No, 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 no. We are not using the word unverified unless we are disputing a medical collection or you didn't pay progressive car insurance. Okay. Other than that, you have to go after one of these things. Okay. So for American Express or Capital One, you were 30 days late, or maybe you were 30 days late and then you were 60 days late and then you paid on time. How do you remove that? Well, we're going to go back to that very first date of delinquency, right? So we're not using the second late payment or the third. We're going to go back to the first one. So the older it is, the harder it is to verify, basically, right? Because I paid on time for whatever that date is. So we're only asking them again, we're only asking them to update the account and remove the late payment. That's all. Okay. Now, if you have more than 3 late payments, it is not recommended that you try to update those late payments. So if you have 30, 60, 90, 120, so on and so forth, don't even bother. So we have first day of delinquency that we can go after. And then on the next round, obviously we can go after notice of dispute and, a bunch of inaccuracies between the bureaus, right? So you are not really going to see unless they get really lucky that your late payments are consistently reported by the bureaus. So you can use the bureaus against each other in the way that Equifax reports date, but Experian reports this date, and then TransUnion reports this date, right? It has to be the same date. Who's right? Who's wrong? We don't know. You have to place that burden of proof on them. It is not your job. Again, go back and visit Cushman versus TransUnion from 1997, where congressional opinion was very clear in that the burden of proof is on the bureaus, the creditors, and the collectors. It is not on you, the consumer. So you have to put that burden of proof on them. Okay. And that leads me to the last point. There's no direct proof. What I mean by that is when you are disputing late payments, the only real legal proof that they can possibly give you, the consumer, is to send a copy of the data furnisher's bank statement proving when you paid or didn't pay on time. Dude, they're not going to give you that. And because they're not going to give you that, this late payment on whatever date is not going to be legally verified. And because of that, they have to go and remove this from your credit report. Okay. So you have option A, delete the entire account because of these reasons, or B, update to paid on time, never late. And that again is going to be one of the parts of the Agero formula: action, justifier, element, reason, outcome. Outcome is what you want them to do, such as change this to this new status. Don't ever, ever, ever leave it in their hands to figure out what it is that you want to do, because then they're just going to say, no, we investigated, it was verified, and that's it. Have a nice day. No, update to paid on time, never late for inaccuracy. All right. So an example of a dispute reason using this would be to go back to that first late payment, 30 days in 2017, April 2017, right? So I paid on time or I was not late April 2017. Please remove this late payment for inaccuracy and update to paid never late. It is as simple as that. Now, is this going to happen overnight? Hell no, it's not going to happen overnight. Late payments take an average, if they are done the right way, about 6 months or so. Okay. It all depends to paid on time, who the lender is or who the data furnisher is, what bureaus are reporting it. If it's just one bureau, two, three, if it's inconsistently reported, if they actually sent you quote unquote proof, or if it was just statements. These are all things that go into determining how long it's going to take to correct or remove your accounts because of late payments. Okay. What you don't want to do is just say this late payment on X date is unverified. No, 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 no. That's not what we're doing. We have to tell them why it needs to be corrected or removed based on whatever facts. Okay. And again, if you are just coming here right now, for student loans, we are using their totally inaccurate late payment history because you can't just report 90 days late. If that were true, then that means that this first, let me just move over this way and turn my mic so you can hear me. So that would mean that this okay, 90 would in turn mean that you were actually late on this date and it should be 30 days. You were actually late on this date and it should be 60 days. And then now this would report accurately as 90 days late. If it doesn't say 30, 60, 90, then that makes absolutely no sense. You are not doing me a favor by waiting till I'm 3 months late to report me as late. Okay. And you can use this to your advantage to be able to remove, you can use this to remove or update your late payments with companies like Nelnet, Navient, and Salome. Okay. If you want to learn more about removing your account or updating your account because of late payments specifically, and yes, my mic is over here, student loans, then you can use this link that you see on your screen right now to go check that out. And I may have some other videos. I have 800 videos, so there's somewhere in there. I've got maybe a handful of videos on removing your late payments from accounts for student loans and for things like credit cards and car payments, but they're all handled the same way. You can't just say that I was late. That was my mic. You have to prove that I was late. Otherwise, it's hearsay, right? Because I can say that you owe me $1 million, and unless I prove, that's not telling me anything. Where is the proof? Show me the money, right? Okay. If you have questions about this specifically and you want more information on how to remove late payments, not only check out vault.my740.com and my other videos, but you can go to any of my other videos and just let me know in the comment section that you want to learn more about removing late payments or removing late payments for student loans, and I will create that content. All right. So again, I apologize about the live streaming software going on the fritz. I am going to be using something totally different next time. And yes, we are now posting videos and going live earlier by about 3 hours or so because I look at the stats. I know who watches my videos and when they watch it. So be aware of that new timing. All right, so that is it. If you haven't smashed that like yet, make sure that you actually do so that you can tell me that you like my content, and you can let Google know that you like it, so that my videos get shared so that I can help other people. All right, because you are not alone. There are many, many other people who are in the same boat and that are not getting the correct information about updating their credit reports. Okay, so again, this is not going to happen overnight. There is no overnight process. There is no 60-day process. There is no 11-day process. There is no 14-day process. There is no 24-minute process. There's no calling, Equifax and saying like, hey, Equifax, yeah, you know who I am. You need to remove those late payments like immediately. Dude, what? Are you the president? Like, unless your name is on that VIP list, and yes, the bureaus have a VIP list, okay? There's a whole VIP department that handles things for like, I don't know, Jay-Z, Beyonce, the president, and stuff like that. Then, man, you're just another person sending in letters along with the 1.5 million other people who also are sending in letters. And unless you make yours stand out, then you're going to get treated like everybody else. And everybody else is just getting verified, 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 verified. You need to know exactly how to handle these specific situations so that you can go and get results like I do, right? Now, I'm not saying that every single late payment can come off. I never say that. I'm not saying that every account can come off. I never say that. But what I am telling you is that when you learn to fill that knowledge gap and you dispute the right way, you will be able to position yourself for results, and those results will come. All right. I think that's it. I got to get to a call, and I will see you later. So you didn't smash that like. You better go smash that like. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.